Guys, the Laguna, you guys know how much I love football and I'll talk about Arsenal or wherever it interests me. And I'll talk about taboo subjects that most mainstream people won't. So let's speak about women in football. Now, we all have a mother, or unfortunately, if your mother's passed away, RIP her, but we all wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a mother's nurturing and things like that. So when I see women talked down upon, it is pretty upsetting, especially in football. Now, we know football is very tribal. We know football brings out the most tribal feelings in men. We know football is very much like certain aspects of society. It's a gated community. It's reluctant to change. It's very stereotypical, very taboo. It's very nice, downright nasty. In regards to females, I mean, we see females obviously follow football. You go and look at European football or football over in the States or Canada. Female football is quite big, and you see Lyon and PSG's female teams are actually quite good. And Brazil, you see Marta and things like that. She's actually better than Thea Walcott. So yeah, but it's of course you do see some, but I don't see fitness coaches widespread like I like to see. I don't see linesmen widespread like I like to see. All of them sort of little roles I don't see. Yes, at the top you might see some rare examples of a female working there. Karen Brady. Obviously Arsenal had a shareholder. I think Spurs have one. Chelsea have one. And Southampton had one, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Saints fans. But yeah, there's many things wrong. Firstly, I'd say, how do I put this? Firstly, there might even be reluctance for some females to go into the game because they saw how I forgot her name, you have to forgive me, the whole Jose saga with the fitness coach. I'm not trying to pander to sides here and there, but yeah, that's an obvious problem. Another problem in relation to that, females that are already in the game might be suffering worse or similar discrimination, but are too scared to speak out for people not believing them. People are very skeptical to believe women in football, not believing them, scared to lose their job, or just downright bullying and things of that nature. I mean, you've seen the linesman. There was a linesman. I'm pretty sure it was in the Prem. You saw the abuse she got and things like that. We know. Yeah, I'm not saying this, but we know, similar to how some people experience racism. We know if females were in certain roles, which I want to see, they make a wrong decision. You're gonna hear things like, "Oh, she belongs back in the kitchen. She don't know what the offside rule is. This, that, and the other." All these other lazy examples, and it is quite wrong. I mean, you see females, if you go and look at any of these football clubs and you go and look at their project management departments, their reception department, their administration department, their operations department, anything to do with the very framework and movement behind the scenes, I can guarantee you the majority of the teams are probably women. So they obviously think women are skilled, but they don't want them to be up there. I mean, forgive me, guys, but we know football has a reluctance to change. It's very much middle-aged white men and things of that nature. So yeah, I mean, we've seen guys like Richard Scudamore leaked emails saying things about females, and I will say it's not relevant to what I've just said, but female pundits, it does feel like people are somewhat skeptical. They might, I mean, a female pundit might say something like Messi's the best. They'll put her under the microscope. But why is, because I see this on BT Loki and things. They'll say, why is Messi the best? Why do you think Messi's the best? If Paul Scholes or something says Messi's the best, that's the end of it. So females always have to prove that they know what they're talking about and things of that nature. Like, and another thing as well, I'm not suggesting all men look at women as a piece of meat, but it's sad to say in a lot of these circles and things of that nature, sexual harassment is massive. I mean, they just see them as breast and belly. I mean, it's like the corporate world. I mean, a female could be the best person at her selected craft and be a valuable asset for a football team, but the shareholders or whatever might just see her literally as a female, as someone with a vagina, breast and belly, and sadly that's all they see. I mean, you see that in the banking sector. So many females are great and talented at their job, but they're just seen as a piece of meat, stopping them from progressing. It's not just football. There's many different walks of society that happens. I keep telling you guys, football mirrors society. I've spoken about credibility, how if with the Messi thing, but to highlight again, if a female pundit says 1 + 1 = 2, she's gonna have to prove how she learned how to count for that. So yeah, people can be discouraged from getting involved because of people that are talented could be discouraged because it is because of their sex. They're not going to get a chance. That people do not know what they're thinking about. People think they do not have credibility. But part of me also believes that I like football in it, so I'm very upset when I see these Premier League teams doing the madness. We know football is there are demands in football. I prefer female tennis to actual male's tennis because I think male tennis is pretty crap. So I can kind of link the two. But part of me thinks if the female game over here was to grow a bit more, it would be easier for females to interchange. Because let's just say for a minute, like the female game of football was on the same level as the Premier League. you would see many coaches just move over and interchange because they would see them as levels. But when you look at it and you see that, I think I think Man United don't have a females team. Southampton just got one. Credit to City, they're investing in theirs. We're okay. But a lot of these teams don't, the female teams compared to the Prem teams, don't get the investment, don't get the resources. There's many times people don't have, female teams don't have kits, don't have facilities to train, don't have this, that, and the third. It's upsetting, like, because it should, whether you're black or white, brown, female, male, this is a game of 90 minutes of a football. It doesn't matter what you look like. Like, the feelings can transpire and everyone can transgend the feelings of football. So it doesn't really matter, and it really annoys me. So yeah, it raised the female game. If someone, and not just females, if males would raise that as well, it would be easier to be interchangeable because they would look at them with less skeptical eyes. And another thing, I remember at the time of making this video, I think I actually saw a crazy thing in the females professional game. 5 out of the 20 managers are female. So that's almost, so yeah, it is a females are playing, but you could also argue that's somewhat still a male-dominated game, making it somewhat still males looking down. And the very basis or essence of it, if a female likes football, some people are very skeptical as to whether she knows what she's talking about, she actually likes it. The same way I'm not advocating it. If a male goes and becomes a ballerina or something, people are going to be skeptical. It is annoying. But I also think, like racism in some degrees, it is here to stay because the people at the top don't want people that don't fit their ideologies, don't look like them and things like that. You also hear people say things like, oh, I don't like a woman telling me what to do, or she's a woman, how could she know? It's sad that in the Western world these things go on behind the scenes. I mean, if it was in certain other countries with stricter laws, I'm not saying I understand, but you could see where it's coming from. But this is just, I don't know, guys, man. It's just upsetting because there's a lot of females with work rate, with the ratings and the talent, the knowledge, the skill set, all of it. And they're just, I don't know if they'll get a chance. I don't know if I've actually given you guys any food for thought. But yeah, this is just something that's bugged me for a while. I'd like to see on a wider scale more female coaches, referees, linesmen, physios. Obviously, there's a lot of qualified female physios, but again, discouraged from getting into the game. All of that. Insert any role you want here. Maybe even a female manager if we could ever get to that stage. Because there is qualified female coaches. I can't remember her name, but the lady that used to coach England's female men's team, full females team, sorry. First team, she was linked with Grimsby. I don't know why it didn't happen. I don't know if it actually did happen, but yeah, things of that nature. I believe a female in France is currently managing a men's team somewhere. So yeah, maybe we'll get there. We'll get to that level where boy or girl, black, white, whatever, if you're good enough, you're good enough. But yeah, guys, I'm waffling now, man. It's about 8 minutes long. Delete Goon, I'm signing out. Comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill. Thank you for watching my stuff, man. Honestly, it means a lot.